So this is an exciting opportunity that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. So if you're someone who's like me, who you're middle aged, you're not ready to retire yet, and you don't qualify for any kind of pension visas, but you're interested in living, working, and moving abroad, this is an excellent opportunity. If you're like me and you're thinking about living and working abroad and you don't qualify for a retirement visa because you're too young to retire, and you don't qualify for an investor visa because you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to either donate to a foreign country or to invest in real estate, then stick around because in this video, I'm going to share with you a little known secret way to get a visa that will allow you to stay in a country long term without having to put a whole bunch of money up front. Let's get to it. If you're new here, I'm Kimberly, and on this channel, we talk about living, traveling, and working abroad. And one way that you might be surprised to find out that you can actually live and work and stay abroad is with a student visa. And I know what you're thinking, Kimberly, I am not 22. I am so far away from my college years. Doing a student visa doesn't make sense for me. But you might be surprised actually to find out how many people in their 40s and 50s are living their dream life abroad because they decided to apply for a student visa. In fact, I'm going to share with you an article that I came across recently from Kiplinger. It's called Student Visas, Older Americans' Ticket to Living in Europe. And it talks about a relocation company that has a number of people in their 40s and 50s looking to move to France and Italy that are doing so by obtaining student visas. And one of the reasons why student visas are attractive is because, again, you don't have to put a whole lot of money up front, like you would have to, spend hundreds of thousands of up to $1 million to invest in real estate to qualify for some golden visas. And then if you're not the kind of person who is eligible for a retirement visa, the student visa could be an attractive option. Now, keep in mind, you would still have to pay tuition, but the article talks about how some of the students they've assisted with receiving these student visas in France and Italy were able to do so without having to spend a ridiculous amount of money up front. So they gave some examples. They said public institutions charge minimal fees, even for international students. It's typically lower than the US, about $2,100 to $3,100 a year for a bachelor's degree, for example. And then it says that private universities offer degrees about $2,100 to up to $21,000, depending upon the complexity of the degree, and likely probably also depending upon the location and whether or not it's public or private. So I actually have a friend who, back in the early 2000s, he moved to Germany. He used to work in the mortgage industry, and he lost a lot of money in the real estate bust that happened, and he just needed a change. He ended up moving to Germany, and he actually ended up getting a student visa and obtaining his MBA at a local university. And then he was able to continually extend that visa and got enrolled in a doctoral program at that same university. This allowed him the opportunity to live in Germany while also studying at the university and working at the university, so he was making some money to support himself. Now, in this particular article, it talks about creating your own job because some of these student visas allow you to work about 20 hours per week. And so the article recommends maybe starting an LLC and creating your own business, or maybe you'll do some sort of consulting work. So if you're someone like me who's been, working in the workforce for 20, 30 years and you have, skills in a specific area, you might consider creating some sort of consultancy around that. So maybe if you did, bookkeeping, or you're a writer, or whatever that might be, you might consider doing that and potentially doing it online. Then you can still do it in English. And so if you're intimidated by the idea of getting a degree or another degree, if you already have some, you don't have to be as extreme as my friend and getting, an MBA and a doctoral degree. Maybe think about what are some of your passions? What are some things that you've always wanted to learn about? Maybe you were really excited by, museums, art, and European history. If you're moving to Europe, what better place to actually study European history and be able to see what that's all about? And so really think about, what are some things that you might want to pursue if you decide to go that route. Now, the article talks a lot in depth about being able to study abroad. It also mentions that for the students in these particular countries that they're talking about, they were able to get access to the local healthcare system for a nominal fee as a part of their student visa. And and for those of us that are considering living, traveling, or working abroad, insurance is a big concern. You will have to be concerned about your medical insurance or your health care, and that is going to be an expense. Even if you qualify for one of these retirement visas, in many countries they're going to still require you to have separate healthcare insurance, or they may allow you to pay into the local social security system or the local healthcare system at a cost that may not be as affordable as you might think. It might be several hundreds of dollars or more per month that you're going to have to pay into that system. So potentially getting a student visa, it might end up saving you some money. Again, this is all going to depend on what country you're traveling to and what the rules and regulations are around those student visas. So the other thing that I want to share with you is something else that I don't feel a lot of people talk about. So you've probably seen several digital nomads talking about why they teach English as a foreign language online, because it allows them the opportunity to be able to, work online and earn some money to fund their travels. But I don't think a lot of people talk about teaching English in person. And I think that really could be a great way to get access to being able to move abroad, at least to get you to where you're trying to go, and you can kind of figure things out once you're on the ground. So that friend that I mentioned earlier, he actually originally got to Germany because he had a certificate to teach English as a foreign language. After he got his TOEFL certificate, he was recruited by a company in Germany to teach English to the workers in this business. So he would go on site to the company, and then the workers, they would come and they would take these English lessons to improve their English speaking, to hopefully gain a promotion and other job opportunities within that organization. I personally also have a TOEFL certificate. I went to International TOEFL Academy, and I'll put some links below to ITA. So if you're interested, you could take a look at that. But one of the things that people don't really talk about as it relates to teaching English in person is that there's different types of programs. So teaching English in person could potentially get you a visa to live abroad, but schools like ITA might offer some different options that maybe you haven't heard of. So for example, for those of you that are thinking of moving to Spain, ITA actually has a program that allows you to move to Spain. You can even earn your TOEFL certificate while you're in Spain. You can go to Spain to learn Spanish. You can go to Spain to teach English, or you can do a combination of these things in this program, and they will help you get your visa. So this program is available for students to work or study in Madrid and Barcelona. So this is an exciting opportunity that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. So if you're someone who's like me, who you're middle-aged, you're not ready to retire yet, and you don't qualify for any kind of pension visas, but you're interested in living, working, and moving abroad, this is an excellent opportunity. While there are a lot of age restrictions on teaching English as a foreign language in various countries, the one that they're offering at International TOEFL Academy is available up to age 60. So this is certainly something that you can look into. Whether you were 18 and you want to be that digital nomad, you can apply for the TOEFL certificate, and you could be teaching in Spain potentially without even a degree. And if you are someone who is approaching middle age like I am, you are still young enough to qualify for this type of visa. So, this is certainly something worth looking into. Again, I will leave links down in the description below. So if that's something that you're thinking about, you can do some research and see if it is right for you. So that kind of sums it up. The student visa is an interesting opportunity to be able to live abroad legally and potentially even be able to work abroad legally. Again, this video is not immigration advice. I encourage you to do your own due diligence and find out what the restrictions are in the places that you're interested in relocating to, but the student visa could potentially be a good option. I hope you found this video to be helpful. Take a look at this video next because YouTube thinks you'll like it. See you next time.